Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to create more space in your home. So how many of you here have insufficient space in your home, especially now sometimes most of you will be stuck in the home, right? Whether a circuit breaker or not, I know not everyone is going out. So put a 1 if you feel that you need more space in your home right now. Okay, put a 1 if you need more space in your home. And for those of you who are looking to renovate or you've just got a new space and you feel that storage is very important for you and you need to create more space, put a 2 so we know who you are. Okay. Oh yes, so Elk Low is buying a new home. Great. Yeah, so this will be very useful in planning. So today we will be sharing about space optimization tips and tricks that you can implement now or in the coming months. So whether you are looking to renovate or not, this will be applicable to you. So we'll be sharing some cool stuff. So stay tuned. Leave all your worries behind and we will be starting. And what you will gain at the end of this session will be the secrets to making your home feel 30% larger or sometimes even more than that. Okay? So who is this for? This is for homeowners facing limited storage space in your home and would like advice on actions that you can apply at home right now. Owners intending to embark on a renovation project and would like to know how to plan and organize your home for maximum space optimization. So if you're 1 or 2, definitely this is for you. So we will be doing 3 sections. We'll talk about cool and innovative solutions, specialist hardware that will give you your home that wow factor, solutions that are not too expensive, that don't break the bank, basically features that you may already have or is easily incorporated into any renovation. So whether you're in the middle of a renovation, you're just resuming work from the circuit breaker, or you're planning to start a renovation, you can actually implement these solutions. And finally, storage organization, no renovation work required, tips and tricks that you can implement right now. So do stay tuned right to the end. We'll have some goodies, space optimization template that you can download if you stay all the way to the end. So do stay tuned till 5 p.m. So as I mentioned, the space optimization checklist that will be very useful because I will share it a bit more later, but to do proper space optimization, you will need to be very detailed. So this checklist is going to help you out. And of course, at the end, you would have space planning for your home with no regrets. Okay, so have any of you ever bought something and realized you don't have a space to store it? Or have you ever felt that your home is too small for the amount of things that you own? Or do you feel embarrassed to invite people over due to the mess in your home? Or have you ever renovated and realized a few years later that you need to renovate again due to lack of space? So if you answer yes to any of these, we're going to help you to actually avoid all these pitfalls. We want to plan for now and the future because if you can actually save money for planning for the future. A lot of people think about what they have now, what's their living condition now, but what about in 3 years' time? What about 5 years' time? Because most people stay in their dwelling for at least 5 years or more. So we actually want to keep things a bit versatile. So we want to plan for now and the future, and also certain lifestyle changes. Sometimes you may have people moving in with you, or people may be moving out and you have more space, or you may be looking to start a family. So we do want to take all these considerations, and you would then save some money in the future. So a bit about myself. My name is Jamie, co-founder of HYJK Design. We are a boutique interior designer firm in Singapore. And we are actually experts in space optimization. So we started out how we started out was that we wanted to do space optimization for our own home. We were getting our first home. My husband studied industrial design in NUS, so he's from the design world. I studied food science, and I went into banking. So I was working really long hours. He was back then he was in Procter & Gamble, and we were working crazy hours. It was very tiring. So we just wanted an interior design firm to take care of everything, to do all the detailed planning. And we got this 2-bedroom apartment that didn't have any storeroom. So for us, storage was really important. We did sports. We are doing sports like kayaking. We have those PFDs for those who know water sports. We have equipment. We have fishing gear. We have camping gear. I have this outdoor 50-liter kind of camping gear and tents, lots of stuff. So for us, this was crucial. Unfortunately, the interior design firm that we work with didn't actually have services to look into all these details. So in the end, we had to spend a lot of time. Anytime we used to work until 11, 12, and even the AMs. But anytime that we could find on the weekends or in the evenings, I'll be going through Pinterest. I'll be making a note of all the items that we have to store, and really make sure when we go through the design, when we do any of the drawings with together with the firm, that we cover all of these. We have a space for all of these, because if not, it's going to just we won't be able to find a space for it, because we don't have a bomb shelter now. We don't have a storeroom in our apartment. So that was why it was very important. So after that, we actually came up with a process over 5 years. Back in 2015, we decided to start our firm, because we felt that this is actually very important in Singapore for space optimization. And now our firm is a Case Trust accredited firm, and we do mainly a lot of condos as well as landed property, and we do some HDBs as well. So in our free time, we like, as I said, we are very outdoorsy kind of people. So we love to drive off-road. We do shooting at SAFRA, Yishun, things like that. So just a little bit about ourselves and how we started on this space optimization journey and how we became experts on it. It was our pain point, and now we found a process to solve our pain point, and we want to share it with all of you. So first, we're going to talk about cool and innovative solutions. Okay. So this is actually a swivel kind of concept, whereby you can actually have a table that swivels and tucks away when you don't need it, and you can swivel out when you do need it. So a lot of times we have clients saying, oh, we need a bit of extra space, whether it's a desk, whether it's eating space, dining space, entertaining space, a bar counter. This is something that could work for you. You may not want it out in the open all the time so that you have a bit more walkway, but you can actually swivel and close it up. So this is how it looks like closed. This is how it looks like open. Okay. Another thing that's getting more and more popular in Singapore would be Murphy beds. So you can actually have a horizontal Murphy bed, which is what you see here, or a vertical Murphy bed, and you can just tuck it away when you don't need to use it. You can also build storage around it, so you really maximize the space, use the full ceiling height that you have. So for our clients, Ram and Kalpana, they are at the Crest, and for them, they actually moved from a very big home. They are used to mansions back in New York, and they feel that their apartment in Singapore is pretty small at 1,600 plus square feet. But they were able to fit everything in, because we actually spent a lot of time on the space optimization, and they were great. They were very open to new ideas. So that what you saw previously for the Murphy bed was actually the housekeeper's room, and we created a lot of space in it such that she can actually do all the ironing, and she has a comfortable space for herself. Her housekeeper is also very happy with the space that we have created. So from a small room, we managed to make it feel a lot bigger and have a lot of storage for the housekeeper to use as well. Okay. The next thing is quite interesting. So it's an ironing board that folds away. You know, sometimes ironing boards take up a lot of space. They're quite tall, they're quite long, and we don't know where to put them. So what this system actually has an ironing board in this just the size of a drawer space. So we did this for our clients at Flamingo Valley. There are two seniors in their 60s and 70s. And so Cheryl came to us with the challenge of storing her ironing board. They iron daily, so they want the ironing board to be easily accessible, easy to handle, because it cannot be too heavy for a senior to handle. And they want it to be at the living area to face out the balcony because they're on a hilltop. So they want this hilltop to take advantage of the hilltop view. So we proposed this ironing board that easily folds away into the DV console storage cabinet. So you see this arrow here? That's where your ironing board is stored. Okay, and it takes up just the space of a drawer. And we have the iron that's stored above the board, and we have power supply for the iron. So everything is there to use instantly, very easy to take out to use, and once you're done, very easy to store back. So this is how it looks like. You just open it up, it can swivel out, and it folds out to whether you want to use it in this way, or you can turn it 90 degrees, you can use that as well. It's very versatile, and it's a full-size ironing board, which is great because a lot of people don't want to compromise on the size of an ironing board. Okay, so that was quite interesting. Something that I guess most of you, if not all of you, would know about would be sofa beds. But what the type of sofa bed that I would like to talk about would be the type that is actually equipped with a proper mattress. Because not all sofa beds actually come with a proper mattress, and sometimes when you have a bit elderly guests that's coming to stay over, a proper mattress might be very important for them, or even for young children. So for this case study with our clients at Costa Ru, they have a family with 2 kids, and he normally works late hours as he has a F&B business. So he wanted a space of his own to relax and watch TV without being disturbed. He also needs a small space to actually do some admin, some work from time to time. So it's like a study / lounge / guest room. So his mother-in-law comes over to Singapore from time to time and would need a bed with a decent mattress. So what we did, this is actually a sofa bed in that sense. This is a sofa / Murphy bed. The sofa is connected to the Murphy bed and can transform to a queen-size bed for the mother-in-law to use. Okay, we don't have the photos of it because circuit breaker happened, so we didn't have a chance to take our portfolio photos with them yet. And for Flamingo Valley, so Cheryl has a lot of friends and relatives that visit from overseas, and they would stay over at her space, and she wanted a good mattress for her friends in their senior years. So this sofa over here, it folds out and there's a proper mattress. It's not the cushion of the sofa, but a proper mattress. So we are going to talk a bit about multifunctional tables. Tables can be quite interesting. So let's look at this case study first. Similarly, at Flamingo Valley, Cheryl only requires a space for 2, for dinner for 2, lunch for 2. But they entertain friends and family several times a year and wanted a dining table that could seat 6, but carry a much smaller footprint when not entertaining. So the solution, a console table that can be adjusted for a place setting for 2 or completely detached to seat 6. Okay, so this is what you see this on the left. It's actually a console table size, so it's very small. It's about only 30 cm deep, takes up very, very little space. And normally when she uses it, it's just 2 of them. So we will fold out for 2 of them to use. And even better, a lot of people always ask, what about the chairs? This set comes with the chairs being able to be stored in over here. You see underneath here where my cursor is, that's where the chairs are. So it's really amazing. And all that folds here. So you have the table, you have the chairs here. And when you want more people to sit around it, the whole dining table can actually be pulled out and you can sit 4 plus 2 at the ends. So you can see 6. So there's a lot of very interesting dining tables that's available for this kind of solutions, from console tables that can even go up to lengths of 2 meters. So depends on what your requirements are. This is quite a fun, there's a fun, very fun couple, very fun family that I worked with, Stephen and Leslie. They wanted a lot of storage space. So we took care of all the practical requirements. But initially they were telling me they wanted a pool table, and they were saying, I don't know whether this is possible. It's just a wish list. I'm just going to tell you about it, but I don't think it's going to happen. So what we did was that we went for multifunctional tables. This is actually a customized table. Even the pool table, the cushion can be changed. They have pink, purple, you know, lots of colors for you to select from. The top can be a different color. The bottom, the legs can be a different color, but we selected these colors to match their theme. They love very bright colors. So apart from it being a pool table, one more plus point is that you can actually, it comes with a table tennis set, so you can actually play table tennis on it too. So it's quite fun. And you know, for table tennis, the light pendant lamps are actually on a track system, so you can actually remove the pendant lamps and then fit normal track lights, and you can play table tennis easily with this space. Okay. Now something a bit interesting as well, a TV lift. So this console actually has a TV in here. They have home automation, so when they activate their home automation, the TV will pop up here. So even without home automation, you can do that, but usually with motorized, it's quite fun to have the home automation for this. So for this client, what they actually didn't want the TV to be visible all the time, as they have young children. So out of sight, out of mind, they hide the TV when it's not in use, and it only comes out on Friday night for movie night. Okay, and so how did we apply for another client? So similarly for Ram and Kapala that we mentioned about earlier at the Crest, they had the TV that descends from the ceiling. So you don't see it over here, but now you see the TV has descended from the ceiling. Okay. So they love smart home. They also have a smart home implemented for them. So they can have a movie scene and the lights turn on, aircon switches on, your lights can dim, your TV can come down and switch on, things like that. So, but even if you don't have a smart home, this is also possible if you have a high ceiling. So let's talk about bay windows and workspaces. A lot of people tell me they have bay windows, and they really don't want to waste the space at their bay windows. They don't know what to do. So for Costa Roo, like I mentioned just now, they needed a space that's a lounge, a space for the mother-in-law, and also a space for a desk. Okay, so we are going to talk about the desk now. There's a bay window in the room, so we use the space above the bay window to do a pull-out extension. Okay, because if you sit at the bay window itself, your legs will be hitting the concrete and it won't be very comfortable. So from the side view, what you see is this. When you're not using it, it's all tucked away, almost flush with the bay window. When you are using it, you pull it out, and this actually comes out and becomes flush with the whole surface here. And you have a very deep space, about 80 plus cm, 87 cm to be precise. And you have lots of leg space underneath, which will make it comfortable. So this is the top view, this is the side view, and this is how it would look like. So they have a TV console, the queen size bed actually falls down here over the sofa. You don't have to move anything at all, you just pull down the queen size bed. This is where the workstation is. On the right is a drawer to keep stationery. This pulls out to become a deep space, the 87 cm deep space, and you can put a chair there and you can use it as a desk. So you can actually make use of the bay window space, but without blocking the entire window. Lofts. So we always want to talk about thinking vertically, because even in HDB flats, your ceiling height is 2.6 meters. And I can tell you most homeowners do not take advantage of that ceiling height. So we want to think vertical. So one way that we can look at that is actually using lofts. It can be lofts are not just loft beds. They can actually be, of course, a small guest room with a loft bed, or it can be a study area, or it can be a place for just chilling out, relaxing, catching up with friends, or playing computer games. So for the Crest, we also built a loft for them, because our client enjoys drinking a glass of wine after dinner and wanted an inspiring space for their study. With they have a 7-meter ceiling height, so we built a loft for the study and a bar below the loft. They are able to take advantage of the great view of the Alexandra Canal, so they have a very good unblocked view. Okay, so this is how it looks like below the loft. Okay, you have a small little nook for having drinks. That's them having their wine after dinner. And we also managed to fit a small bar fridge in here, okay, with a cooling system. Okay, and then they have the whole space below, and of course on top is the study. So that was the cool and innovative ideas. Now we are going to talk about, so those will of course cost a little bit more of investment. But now we want to talk about ideas and solutions that don't break the bank. You don't really have to spend too much more, if at all, to implement these solutions. So what we love and we install in every one of our projects is the AA track system. Okay, in Chinese, they call it Hua Ce Lu for the carpenters to understand, but it's a AA track system. And we want to actually use this to adjust all the height of your shelving. Okay, not the usual stud system whereby you are limited to where the studs are. So when space is crucial, you can use the adjustable height shelves, especially for shoe cabinets. So for a typical shoe cabinet, when you buy one off the shelf, the standard height in between is about 16 cm. Okay, then maybe for heels and boots, you will use 23 cm. With this, what you can do with the exact same space, you can actually use 10 cm or less to put all your flats, your slippers, flat sole shoes. And then you use maybe 16 cm for low heels and men's shoes. Okay, so you put all the footwear of the same height together, and you would actually be able to store a lot more shoes than if you would with standard height shelves with the exact same space. So just by using this AA track system, for a lot of interior design firms, they do charge a little bit more, but some of them already includes this into their cost. They already take this into their cost. So for example, for us, we already charge based on this because this is very useful for any home. Okay, so do check in with them if you are looking to do renovation. You can talk to them about this AA track system. Okay, so what we did for our client at the Seaview, they needed adjustable height shelving to allow handbags of different sizes to be stored efficiently. So handbags, you have the tall ones, you have the clutch, and just wristlets, those are really small. So you can adjust the height according to your needs. Okay, so you can see over here, this is actually the AA track system. They have a lot of this is just one portion of the wardrobe. They have a lot more space for the wardrobe. This is just mainly for some sweaters, etc. because she's actually a student, so she needs access to all 4 seasons at any one time. So for scarves and etc. So having all these adjustable height shelves would help quite a fair bit. And you see what our client has done with the AA track system here. They have used it very well. They put all the items of the same height together, okay, and then they really maximize the space. Yeah. So as I said, don't space the shelving equally. So just adjust it according to the height of the items that you want to store. That would be most efficient. Okay, so even if you don't have the AA track system, some of you will be using studs, and this is something that you can implement. Look at where you can put things of similar height together and really maximize the same space that you have. Okay. So we also use this at Nova 88. So the original wardrobe space for the developer was actually in the bomb shelter, and it was only using 2/3 of the space available. So we use the AA track system for bags and cosmetics. So over here, you will see the AA track system. Okay. So very importantly, we always have to look at planning. Yeah, without planning, without knowing what things we need to store, later on when you move in, you are sure to miss out some things, especially the large bulky things. Those we want to make sure that we have sufficient space for them. Okay. Next thing we want to do is look at things that we can transform. So most commonly, like what you see, this is a DB cabinet. I will show you a bit more about it. So we want to identify underutilized spaces and transform these spaces. Okay. So for Sea Horizon, this young couple, this is the original DB cabinet from the developer. So you can see this is the DB box, this is the Netlink truss, it's separate and there's a lot of trunking. So what we wanted to do is that firstly, it was an eyesore. Secondly, it took up so much space and there's no shelving and it was a big waste of space. And it's smack in the middle of the living and dining room, which should be a nice space rather than having an eyesore over there. So we transformed this to make an impressive feature instead. So they can display their photos, they can display their their collection. Okay, and all we need to do is just have a space for the modem, for the Netlink truss, and the DB box, which is what we have here. Another thing that we considered would be looking at transforming over time. So for this particular home, what happened was that they are actually looking to change ownership of the wardrobe. So you know, males don't really need space for dresses, yeah. So so what we will do is that we actually can add planks. Just a very simple solution: add planks, and you can store other items here, whether it's towels or bags over here, and you can still hang all your clothes. When ladies take over, remove these planks. And what you can do is that it's just nice, the height is just nice to store day dresses. So office day dresses will fit well over here. Similarly, for this space, what we do is that actually these two can be removed and tilted on its side, can be stacked on each other. So for now, men can use it. And then when you stack on the side, you can store all your bags on the side. And you can hang really long dresses and gowns if you wish. If not, you can just turn one and stack on the side and you can just hang day dresses as well. So very, very versatile. As I said, we also want to plan for the future. We don't just want to plan for now. Okay. And next, we want to talk about access. Most of the time when we talk about access, we always think about accessing it from the front of the cabinet. But like in this case, it doesn't look like it, but the access to this cabinet actually opens from the side, and there's a reason for it. Okay, so for example, this client at Ang Mo Kio, what they wanted to do is to store tall, slim items that can be easily accessible. Okay, so with the side access, these items are not going to topple when you open the door, and you can access them very easily. So we even have a space to hang umbrellas here as well. There's even this little hinge that we put in, hardware that we put in, that you can pull out and hang clothes for ironing. When you're ironing outside, sometimes you need a space to hang clothes, right? So actually this can be pulled out to hang clothes. So things like that. That's why we want to have all this side access. Okay. Another thing that we look at is corner access. So we get asked a lot of times. This is one solution for it. We use wide angle hinges in the corner. So it's going to be very easy for you to access the corner for your clothes. Okay. And finally, things that we can do right now, solutions that we are looking to implement right now in your homes. Okay. So, like what I mentioned, we are going to look at making use of vertical space. Okay. So for bathrooms and your kitchens, you can use some boxes. So you can go online, buy some boxes that can be stacked and then use them and actually use up the space underneath, especially underneath the basin in the bathrooms or underneath the kitchen sink as well. So a lot of people don't actually utilize the full space underneath the basins and the kitchen sinks. They just stack everything on one level and there's a lot of space on the sides of the basins or even under the basins. Okay. So for example, in my kitchen, I actually got these shelves from IKEA. So you can see on the left, this is all I can stack because I don't have any shelving. On the right, I can stack so much more. I have my tea. I can even put things behind it if I want, like spare boxes of tea, and then all our jars and everything. So if you actually use some small shelves and you use boxes to stack, you can actually store a lot more. So boxes, if you don't want to buy, you can always repurpose boxes from packaging, from shoe boxes. Some people use shoe boxes as well, depending what use you're looking at. Okay. Or you can even use a magazine folder. Okay, so these box files, you can go to any stationery shop, IKEA, to get it. So for us, we like to organize our items inside there. So we put this under the sink. And then in our pantry, you can actually organize all your cling wrap, etc., zip bags, you know. So you're actually using less space because what you're doing is that you're standing them up. You're using the vertical space, which a lot of people do not use in their cabinets. So this is something that you can fix very easily, very cheaply, very quickly. So something that you can just do this weekend. Yeah. Another thing that people may know about, but they don't actually do, would be using a vacuum seal bag. And these are really great for bulky items like towels, winter wear, pillows, cushions, bed sheets, especially spare bed sheets that you don't use regularly. So for long storage, this will be great. Okay. If you don't want to use a vacuum seal bag, by the way, if you're looking for vacuum seal bags, you can just go to any of the online shops like Qoo10, Lazada. They sell lots of it and you can just buy them. Okay, so you can either use a vacuum or pump type, or you can use regular zip bags, large zip bags. So that's what we are doing here. We put it in, we push all the air out, make sure all the air goes out. So whether you want to roll it or you want to sit on it, whatever works best for you. And then you just use the zip bag, zip it out. So this is what we have done for our winter wear because we don't use it that often. Okay. Next would actually be folded clothing. So I have a question for y'all. How do y'all store your folded clothing? Is it like what you see in this photo? Put one if this is how you normally fold your clothes and store it like this. Okay. Most people would do this. So if you do it this way, put a 1 and let us know who you are. Okay. And I will be sharing another way that we can store our folded clothing, which will save a lot of space. Okay. So we learned this many years ago, way before Marie Kondo came out and became popular. Yeah, so, but we're going to share this with you. So for some of you who have watched Marie Kondo, you would see the same as well. Okay. So what we want to do is a filing cabinet way. Okay. So if you pile, which is what you see just now, okay, you won't be able to store as much clothes because there's only a certain amount of clothes that you can pile up. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to file it. Okay, so we do the filing cabinet way. Okay, and this, what happened over here is that we started with this amount of clothes. Same drawer. When we pile, after we fit everything full, we still have this remainder of clothes. When we file, after we fit everything, we still have more space. We managed to fit all of these clothes and have more space. So as you can see, just by changing the way you fold your clothes, the way you store your clothes, you can actually have a lot more space. So I always have this question from people asking me, what do I do if I don't have a drawer? Okay, so if you don't have a drawer, you can actually get a container, you know, whether it's a box and then you just remove the lid, or those boxes or dividers that you get from home shops, DIY shops, as well as IKEA. You can actually use this same method. Yeah, if you don't have a drawer and you're just folding them and putting it on shelves. Yeah, so Beng Hong mentions, yeah, everyone folds in Marie Kondo method, quite standard out. That's great. Yeah. But I still know a lot of my friends, they actually didn't think about this. They weren't aware, and they were still folding the similar method, just piling things up. Okay, so just remember, file your clothes, don't pile, and you have a lot more space without even doing anything to your wardrobe, to your cabinets. This is something similarly, it's just going to take less than 20, 30 minutes of your time, 10 minutes if you don't have a lot of clothes, and you can save a lot more space. Okay, so definitely something to explore and something you can do right now. Okay, so we mentioned about, you know, space planning, and sometimes we do have regrets a few years later. We don't have enough space. We bought something that we couldn't have a space. We didn't have a space to keep, you know. So what are these barriers to space planning with no regrets? One would be awareness of the options available. So now I've shared some options available for you. Okay. Two would be unfamiliar with what are the details required to do proper space planning. Three, not enough time for detailed planning. Especially now, I know we are in phase 2, a lot of people are suddenly very busy with work, so they don't actually have that much time for detailed planning. And of course, sometimes it can be an upfront investment issue, especially if we are talking about the cool innovations that we shared in the earlier part, for the first part of our webinar. So first thing we want to talk about is, to start off with, is what are your needs? Okay, how many people are staying there? What is their lifestyle like of everyone in the household? Okay, so what are your needs? It differs from person to person. Some people have more items, some people have less items. Some people like to go shopping more, some people don't need to go shopping that often, so they have less clothes. So it really identify your needs of you and your, if you're staying alone, that's fine. But if you're staying with others, then of all of you, who needs what? So what we do is that with this, later on, you have the space optimization checklist, and you will see what are the items that we have a list that's already populated there. So you can take a look at the items there. Those are more standard items, and you need to dig a bit deeper to really do detailed planning to see what other items you need based on your lifestyle. Whether it's a musical instrument, musical instruments take up space, like your guitar or maybe your piano, keyboard, all this will take up space. Or is it a gaming console, you know, like for us, we have Pen Hero, you know, and that's going to take up a lot of space. Where are we going to keep it? Things like that. Or it could be as simple as your bag, your large black bag from NS. Where are you going to keep all of that? So think about what are your needs. So for us, we have come up with the space optimization blueprint. As I said, we've been doing this for several years, and it started as a pain point for us. So now we have refined this process, and we have come up with the space optimization blueprint. And I'm going to share with you how you can at your end as well. So what we do is that the first thing that we do, we start with the scope, like what we talked about, what you need. We'll do extensive assessment, okay, to understand what the needs. Next is to do the site survey. We need to do a detailed site survey to look at the existing space that you are living in, as well as the space that you're looking to renovate, okay? Because it's very important to understand what are your current needs. And then item number 2 is to understand how much are you going to have more or less things when you move over. Okay, because you may not just have the same amount of things. Sometimes people decide, oh, I need to throw this away. Okay, or no, I have a lifestyle change. I need to have more clothes, maybe for work, depending on your line of work, things like that. Okay, so we do this site survey. So site survey at 2 sites, your existing homes, as well as the job site. Okay, 3, of course, we will have to do all the drawings. We will look at of course, including, other than space planning, will be lighting, furnishing, decorative elements. So a lot of people actually, they put very little time or notice on the space planning portion. The ones that interior design firms usually give free, okay, to show you where everything is supposed to go. But actually, that is the most important portion to set the tone for the rest of the project. Because once you have that, that will actually, once that is set in stone, that will actually change the cost of your renovation quite a bit if you're going to make changes to that. 2, that will actually give you a good overview of where you're going to put everything, all the items for your home. Is your wardrobe large enough? You can easily see from space planning. Is your kitchen large enough for your lifestyle? So that will be other drawings. 4, furnishing sourcing. What we need to do is that we will list out all the fixtures and furnishing, and then we have an in-depth discussion on the importance of each item and the budget for it. So some people want to spend a lot on a TV, some people want to spend a lot more on a sofa, and then they can just have a simple TV if at all, okay? So we will then source and curate these pieces to fit your style and budget, because everyone has a budget for sure. Okay, then so that's furnishing. And of course, you need to make sure that the furniture fits the space as what you have planned. Okay, and if you're going to change that, then you need to go back to your drawings and take a look at whether you need to make any adjustments in your home. 5, shopping. So we will need to do shopping. Of course, then you're going to touch and feel the actual material, see the actual colors, and then see how much of these items you need to get. And of course, very importantly, as I mentioned, the dimensions of these items. Are they going to fit well in your home? Are they going to block too much of the walkway? Are they too small? Maybe you can actually have a larger sofa, for example. Okay. Item 6 would be the actual implementation, which is the construction work. Okay, to carry out, of course, then you have to make sure that it's carried out according to plan. And if there's any changes that's required on site, then at least you know you need to keep in mind what are the items that you need to store, and make sure that any changes made can still still caters for the things that you need to store. Okay. And finally, 7, home staging and moving in. Basically receiving and supervising all the deliveries for the furniture, fixtures, making sure it all comes together well, okay, and it's prepared, all prepared well for your move, and knowing how to use everything in your home, whether you have a smart home or not, or like even the remote controls for fans, things like that. Okay, and do a walkthrough, and yeah, moving in. So 7 steps in this space optimization blueprint. If you follow this outline, you can't go too wrong with it. Okay. So as I mentioned, where do I start? The assessment is always the first part. Okay. So once again, your lifestyle. The other thing that we talk about is also durability period. How long are you staying in this property? Some people buy for investment, they're only going to stay 3 years. I met a client that did that. Some people just want to stay for 5 years, the minimum occupancy period. Okay, so that's the durability period. And then some people want to stay for a long, long time, 10, 20, 30 years. So depending on that, then you will choose the materials and the fixtures that you want to use for space optimization and for your home. Then you can adjust the budget accordingly. Okay. Now, of course, your budget, and finally, your personal preferences. Some people are okay with having a Murphy bed day in, day out. Some people cannot take it. So it depends on your personal preferences as well. So how will you know what solutions suit your needs? What you can do, you can consult with an experienced interior designer or contractor to give you a general idea. For detailed specifications, you may request them for your interior designer if they provide such services. If not, you can approach the suppliers that actually sell these solutions. How do you know what you're paying for? Okay. Very importantly, test the product if you can. So most suppliers have a showroom or a factory that allows you to test it. Especially for these types of space optimization solutions, the hinges and the hardware is very, very important if you want them to last for some time. So do ask them. You can also go one step further and ask them for the warranty details, because usually suppliers who are confident of their products are usually open to longer warranty periods. So if they give you warranty periods of 5-10 years, they are more confident of their products, generally speaking. Yeah. And some people ask me, will I need to go above my planned budget? I would say it may not be so, not necessarily. You can take stock of your total renovation budget in detail, like including, so not just what the renovation contractors and interior designers give to you, but also additional costs like furnishing, lighting, accessories. Okay, so when you have your total budget, you can outline the areas that are more important for you to spend on, then you can cut back on the others. So it doesn't mean that everything just has to go up. No, if you have a budget and you need to stick to it, then this is what we will need to do. Look at the budget in detail. Okay. Okay, so what you need to succeed to make sure that you can do space optimization well would be using the proven system. It needs to be detailed and methodological, as I mentioned. So like I mentioned, the space optimization blueprint. So if you follow our process, you shouldn't go too far, you shouldn't stray too far away. Next, it will be great if you can get an experienced guide. So someone that can go the extra mile for you, whether it's your interior designer or your contractor or a supplier for these space optimization solutions. Okay, that would be great, because sometimes it takes, not all these shops can actually be found online or easily found online. So sometimes it takes some experience to actually have the resources and support, which is the third item. Knowing all the suppliers, various suppliers in Singapore, whether it's in Singapore or if you want to import from another country, that's fine as well. But a lot of times, especially this period, we are looking at suppliers in Singapore. And of course, having this access to information, okay? Because as I mentioned, not all of them may be online, yeah. Because some of them are actually more factory style. So with all of this, your proven system, your experience guide, and your resources and support, you'll definitely be able to get a home with a lot more space than you thought, okay? And of course, you can think about how you want to do it. You can either do it yourself or you can get it done for you, okay? So this really depends on your style. Some people are more DIY kind of people. Some people are more done for you. They just want someone else to settle it and then they save time, okay? Okay, so now we have talked about the secrets to making your home feel 30% larger, or maybe even more, depending. We have also talked about how we save money by planning for the future. And then we also talked about space planning with no regrets, okay? Not just for now, but in a few years' time, okay? And we talked about the space optimization blueprint. So what I want to do now is that I'm going to share a bit about the service that we provide. Okay, and then if you have any other questions, we will have the Q&A at the last section. So just to share about this, this is actually a new thing that we started a couple of months back. Basically, it's the HYJK pilot. And it allows you to try now before you buy at $488 for one space. Normally we start with the living room or the kitchen. We look at the layout plan, as well as we will do a layout plan, which I said is always the most important part. So that do pay attention to that with whoever you're working with. The construction detailed drawings, 3D perspective drawing. Okay. So that is our standard package. So for webinars, we usually offer a bonus whereby we will have an in-depth space optimization assessment, like I mentioned. And we will also offer you a color palette. So for example, some people tell me they like white, wood, gray. So white, wood, and gray, there's many ways to do it with these 3 colors. So there can be many directions, and then we will actually propose 3 directions that you may like. Okay. We'll also offer online design consultation, 1 session for 1 hour. So what we mean is that, especially if, let's say, you're doing a full renovation and you, besides, let's say you decide to do this for your kitchen, this pilot for your kitchen, and you want to ask about a bedroom, so you can actually do a consultation, in-depth consultation for that as well. So, and of course, what you get is that we will do the space planning. So there will be space planning with no regrets, and you will save money by planning for the future. So if you want to refer to the brochure and FAQs, the links are there, tinyurl.com/hyjkpilot1. And if you have further questions after this, you can always book a call with us on Calendly, calendly.com/hyjk/30 minutes. Okay. So this is not for everyone. It's only for those who are looking to renovate your apartment or looking to redesign a portion of your home. And if you believe in practical and functional design. And most importantly, you must be a done for you kind of person. So if you're a very DIY kind of person, this package is definitely not for you. And if you decide it's not right for you, we have a money back guarantee because we know our system very well. So we will take the risk on ourselves. So when you engage with us and we present your work, you're not satisfied, we can actually let us know and then we can give you a refund. Okay. So I will just share a bit more about us. So from the Crest, these are all testimonials from them. They mentioned that we are very detail oriented. We do full turnkey solutions. So for example, when they went to the curtain boutique, they already we work very closely with them, so they know what they had to offer them. They have all the dimensions, the scope. They know what they are looking for, so you don't have to spend time telling people what, and all the contractors what your project is about all over again. You save a lot of time with that. Okay, we do these. We focus on design, and also we focus on quality. Okay, so if let's say you're looking at the lowest budgets, or rather the cheapest materials, we will probably be not such a good match. But if let's say you're looking for materials to last, we have more context with that. Yeah. Okay, and yeah, so for us, our costing is, we do line by line. We are very transparent. So whatever options that you're looking at, as I said, budgeting is very important as well. Everyone has a budget. So we can sit down to do all the detailed budgeting with you. And of course, the whole project management, we will do that as well. Okay, so why do we have this pilot? Is what we want to do is that we want to see whether we are a good match. And sometimes when you do renovation, it's going to cost quite a bit, $50,000, $100,000. It's quite a big leap of faith. So we understand that you might want to get to know your interior designer better before you actually commit that kind of amount of money. So that's why we came out with this for our clients. Okay. So as I mentioned, if you want to find out more, just book a call with me. Okay, at calendly.com/hyjk/30 minutes. And an additional bonus today, only for the first 5 signups, because we can't offer this to everyone. We will be giving an additional 3D perspective drawing. So instead of 1 view, you get 2 views, but only for the first 5. Okay, and we will also provide you with a resource directory for furnishing and accessories. So all this at 488. If let's say you are looking to renovate and you are done for you person, then this is for you. If not, then this is probably not suitable for you. Okay. So as I mentioned, just book a call with us. Some people have asked me whether the call is free. Yes, the call is free. Okay, we won't charge you anything until you sign on the dotted line. Okay, And I also wanted to share that we will be having a challenge that is going to come up. What we're going to do is that this challenge is going to teach you in-depth challenge on how to space optimize your bedroom. So things in your bedroom, we are going to go very in-depth. So previously we had a 7-day space optimization challenge that was just touch and go to give you a general idea for clearing up your home to have a better circuit breaker. But now we're going to go really in-depth into a bedroom challenge, and there will be prizes, things like that. So do follow us on Facebook and watch out for this challenge. Okay, facebook.com/hyjkdesign. Okay, and finally, we want to end off with a quote. The details are not the details, they make the product, by Charles and Ray Eames. We love their chairs. So if you see this chair around, it started in the 1950s and was by Charles and Ray Eames and great designers, design classic. So now we are on to the Q&A. If you have any questions, do type them into the comments and I will address these questions. And so if you're not watching it live, that's fine as well. You can always arrange a call with us. The link is there. And also do help to do the feedback. Okay, so Safra Jurong has already posted the link for the feedback form. So there's a feedback form there. Okay, the link is in the comment section. So do just take 2 minutes of your time to do this feedback form. Okay, while we wait for the questions that come in. And as promised, right at the end, thank you for staying. Thank you for being an awesome audience, for interacting with us and staying till the end. Okay, if you go to tinyurl.com/hyjk space list, you will have the space optimization checklist that's in Excel file that you can use, and it's quite detailed, and you can put in more items if you need to, and you can use it to track. So go to tinyurl.com/hyjk space list to download this. Okay, so as promised, thank you for tuning in right to the end. So Q&A, questions. Any questions? Okay. So some people may, so while we're waiting for questions to come in, some people may ask me, okay, how big should my home be, or how small should my home be to really look at these space optimization solutions? So for sure, if you're looking at a studio apartment, a 2-bedroom, especially if the newer condos, this is something you can look at. If you're so basically like 1,000 square feet and below. But even larger homes, like for example, like at the Crest, we work with about almost 1,700 square feet of space. For larger families with larger piece furnishing, this may be something that is required as well. So I know, especially in Singapore, where we, a lot of us, we don't tend to throw things away. We tend to keep lots of things. So space optimization doesn't have to be implemented in the whole home. It may be selected areas. So even in landed property, certain rooms may be a bit small and you're not looking to do major works. So you can actually implement some of these solutions, especially multi-function rooms. Most of the time, people, even with large spaces, when they have a guest room, because a guest room is not used, or most times only used like a few times a year. So they want it to be multifunctional, multi-purpose. Then this is what they would do. They would actually space optimize just that room itself. Yeah, but typically, I would say most people look at space optimization very seriously if they are in a space of 1,000 square feet and below, or in a studio, apartment, 2-bedroom, sometimes even 3-bedroom, small 3-bedroom apartments as well. Yeah, especially. The other thing that people look at would be odd spaces. So if you don't have rectangulars, or you're not in rectangles, not in squares, sometimes you have triangles, odd angles, circular round spaces, then you may need to look at space optimization as well. Okay, so if any more questions, just arrange a consultation with us at calendly.com/hyjk/30 minutes. Thank you for joining us today.